Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. It's always great to be with you here on the show. It is a Sunday. It is May 31st, 2026. And again, it is a Sunday, and it's great to have everyone here with me. If this is your very first time joining me, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you, and I want to say welcome. Had a little pretzel there in my teeth. So if you've been here one time, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, or many more, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you, but I also want to say the words welcome back. It's always great to have people that enjoy the quality and content of the show that I put on here. So, again, it is great to have you here. If this is, again, your first time here, of course, I want to say welcome to you. And I know a lot of you out there are saying, what is motivation? Well, motivation is more than just, um, doing something once. It happens because of discipline, right? That's how it happens. And I think people that don't realize that they get stuck. Okay, they get stuck, and then they're wondering why they don't go anywhere. Don't forget to check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, of course, inspiring creations. I've got some RO water here with some delicious lemon. It is delicious. Feel free to go get yourself some, or maybe another snack or something. So let's kick this show off. So welcome everyone to Build, that is Master Building Your Life with Discipline, Growth, and Ownership. This is Series 5. This is show number 23. And this is episode number 2. This is not just a show, guys. It's a movement. It's designed to help you take control of your life through consistent action, intentional learning, and personal responsibility. Who am I? Sure, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, graduate student, and yes, a very passionate lifelong learner, and so grateful now to be a published author. More importantly, being a lifelong learner, I'm committed to growth every single day. And today is no different. I am here to challenge you to do the same thing in your life. In a world filled with distractions, shortcuts, and quick fixes, real success still comes down to discipline, growth, and ownership. If you're ready to level up your life, it starts with how you learn and how you build your skills. So I think that's an important thing for all of us to understand, because it's not some magical formula, guys. It is something we do day in and day out. I think that is probably one of the most important things that I can share with you. All right. So let's learn something, okay? Learn something new daily. Growth begins in the moment you expose your mind to ideas, no matter how small they are. No matter how small they are. Yeah. I think sometimes people expect the world, but then for whatever reason, they get upset when the world doesn't show up the way they want. So they complain, unfortunately. Yeah. So the next thing is read with intention. Do not just consume information. Okay. Understand it, digest it, and look for ways to apply it in your life and other people's lives. And so when we do that, we can move from a state of just, let's say, hearing about something or knowing something, and actually owning it and applying it in our lives. Our next point is ask better questions. The quality of your life improves when you ask questions that challenge your thinking. People a lot of times don't want to challenge themselves. Like, oh, I don't want to make things hard. I don't want to make things like that. I get it. Okay. I get it. But it's important to understand what this all means. And I think a lot of people out there will probably agree with me that we have to take it one day at a time, but we also have to understand that sometimes we have to do things we're not comfortable with. Okay. So stay curious. Curiosity keeps your mind active and open to new opportunities. I think when we can do that, that's a good pathway to move our life from. I mean, that's really important. Improve one skill, guys. Focus creates mastery, and mastery creates what? Results. But the big misconception is that mastery does not come just like that, like one time. It comes after a long bit of work. Okay. And I think that's a very important thing for everyone to learn. Okay. Focus on the fundamentals. Okay. Don't go for the gold right away. Go for the fundamentals. Go for the basics. Strong basics build long-term success in any area of your life. Okay. And it's the basics that get us into doing other things that we didn't think we ever could do just because of the basics. Practice deliberately. Intentional practice leads to measurable improvement. We've said this time in and time again. Practice leads to measurable improvement. Seek feedback. Honest input from others helps you grow faster and see the blind spots in your life. You know, I think it's okay to have the blind spots, but I think the most important thing is realizing they're there. And then how do we move forward with those blind spots? How do we do that? I think that can be hard for some people to understand that. But we have to be aware of those blind spots and then change them, correct them, tweak them, embrace those mistakes, okay? Mistakes are lessons that guide you toward better decisions. Let's not look at it as the whole farm falling apart. Let's look at it as, okay, this didn't exactly go in the way we wanted, so maybe we have to pivot it 5 degrees or 10 degrees or 9 degrees, right? We have to pivot it. Study successful people. Learn patterns, habits, and strategies that have already proven effective. I'm not saying you're going to copy that, but you're going to learn what they did, and then you're going to be able to apply those things to your life. Guys, avoid the egos. Egos block learning and prevent you from seeing where you need to improve. I think that's a very important thing to understand. Stay teachable. The moment you think you know everything is the moment you stop growing. I believe I'm learning every single day of my life, and I find myself privileged to be able to keep learning every day. Learning is the key. Learning is really the key. It's an important thing, okay? I think a lot of people don't really understand, like, how this evolves. Okay? Take notes, guys. Take notes. Capturing ideas helps you retain and apply knowledge more effectively, that is. Okay? More effectively. Apply what you learn. Knowledge only becomes powerful when you take action on it. It doesn't just work by just being there. You have to take action. I was talking to another co-host today, and I was saying to them that nothing happens until we take an action. Nothing. Learn from failure. Failure is not the end. It is feedback that moves you forward. But feedback can be scary for some people. It can be scary. Okay. And the reason I say it can be scary is because it has a challenge. A challenge that, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't go exactly the way I want? Well, then it's not going to go that way. Maybe then you got to tweak. You've got to change something. Be patient, guys, with growth. Real progress takes time and consistent effort. It's not going to happen overnight. Like Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Neither will your success be. Improve 1% daily. 1% daily. Small daily improvements compound into massive results. Focus deeply. Eliminate distractions and give your full attention to what matters most. Sometimes we don't know what matters most. All we know is that things are just not working the way they should, and we get frustrated. Limit those shallow work ethics. Being busy is not the same as being productive. I know lots of people say, oh, I'm busy. I'm great, you're busy. But being busy doesn't mean you're successful. I'm sorry. It doesn't. And so people have accepted the whole concept of being busy as like, oh, this is the great way to do this. Great. And so if it's a great way to do something, then you assume it's going to do what you want, but then suddenly you realize it doesn't. Invest in yourself. Your skills, knowledge, and your mindset are your greatest assets. Treasure them, treasure them, treasure them. And work on them, tweak them, make them better in your life. Okay? I think that's a very important thing. Make them better in your life. Not because you have to, but because you should want to make them better. That's the whole point. You should want to make them better so that you can become better yourself and help others become better, right? That's an important thing to understand, okay? All right. So let's move on to the next one. Challenge your thinking, guys. Growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. I've said this before too. People want to stay where it's warm or where it's cold or where it's comfortable because that's just our nature. That's how we were raised. We want things to be comfortable. But the comfort is not where the success starts to lie. Stay mentally flexible, right? Adaptability allows you to navigate change and uncertainty. Neuroplasticity, we've talked about this before too. Our brain has the ability in our body to change and morph in different ways because of our beliefs. But this does not happen overnight. This happens over time. It happens over time. And when I say it happens over time, I mean that, okay? I mean that because a lot of people don't understand what it is, why it is a certain way. But all they know is that they get frustrated, they get confused, right? And I think that's a very important thing to understand, okay? Very important thing to understand. Maybe you're saying to me, John, this isn't working for me. Okay, fine. It's not working for you. If you understood something, okay, would you be able to do something a certain way or not? I mean, that's my biggest question for you. And maybe you're going to say to me, John, this isn't the way I want it to be. Okay. Maybe you're thinking about something a certain way. Maybe you're trying to say, gee, this is not the way I want to be. But you're saying that something's changing your life. And you don't actually know how to respond to it. You're afraid to adapt because you suddenly don't believe you can. And belief is, believe it or not, the major point of going forward. Okay? Can't go forward without belief. Break complex problems, guys, down. Simplicity creates clarity and action. Let's chunk things. This isn't a new concept. You have something that has 10 or 20 steps, break them down. Or something that has a huge, large step, break it down into several small steps. Stay consistent in your learning path. Consistency beats intensity every single time in life. Every single time, it beats that. Every single time. And I know a lot of you are saying to me, I don't get this, John. Consistency beats intensity every single time. I know a lot of people that want to work hard, right? Even with training, it's not about training hard. It's about doing this consistently in your life. I said you need two things for success. You need a lot of things, but you need consistency and you need structure. If you have one or the other, you're not going to be successful. Learn from different sources. Diverse perspectives strengthen your understanding. I think sometimes we want to learn something one way, but then we realize there are other ways that we could learn from it. There are other ways that we could learn from it. And that is something that a lot of people don't understand. They just do not understand what that means or why that means something. Okay? Why it means something. I think the biggest thing I want to share with you is that perspectives open up not only ourselves, but they open up others. So remember, our beliefs, our perceptions become reality because we make them that. What we focus on becomes a reality, right? Wherever our thoughts are going, that's where the energy is going to flow. Teach others. Teaching reinforces your own knowledge and builds confidence in yourself. Track your improvement. What gets measured gets improved over time. If you can't measure something, well, you better figure out how to measure, because otherwise you're just going to be spinning your wheels and saying, oh my gosh, this isn't working. This isn't working. This isn't working. And I want you to know that you can make these changes. And I know that a lot of people don't understand why this is this way. And I think sometimes it causes us to second guess what does measured mean. Measured is a definitive way of checking the parameters, the inputs, to see that we get a desired output. We do this with ROI. We do this with a lot of different things. But we can't just throw something at the wall and say, oh, gee, let's hope it works. Cannot do that. Stay humble, guys. Humility keeps you open to continuous growth. I know a lot of people that don't want to be humble because they want their ego to kick in. All right. When your ego kicks in, you suddenly feel like, you're on top of the world. But really, you've got a false sense of reality. Just to be truthful, a false sense of reality that is about something you don't even stand for. Something that you have, let's say, explored, but it's not aligned with your core values. Build long-term knowledge. Think beyond the quick wins and focus on lasting value. A lot of people I know want to work on the short term. They don't want to work on the long term because they just want the quick win. They want the quick cash. But the quick cash is not going to last, right? Long term is what makes life work. Long term, right? Sure, there's some people that'll make a killing doing the other, but then they're also going to burn the reputations, and also that sales professional is going to be pretty much out of a job, at least with that company, because they burned all these bridges, not because they wanted to, but because they saw that was a quick way to get money. And that's just, I got to be honest, that's just pitiful. Keep going, even when it's slow. This is the hardest thing. You have to keep the consistency. You have to keep the structure going, even when it's slow. Progress may feel slow, but consistency always wins out. Remember that, okay? Don't get discouraged because nothing appears to be happening now. There's probably something happening beneath the iceberg. These principles are not complicated, guys, but they require commitment. I want to dive off to Merriam-Webster, and I want to get you a definition of commitment, okay? And according to Merriam-Webster, commitment, it's a noun. An agreement or pledge to do something in the future. Something pledged. A promise to be loyal to someone or something. The attribute and attitude of someone who works hard to do or support something. An act of committing. So what does committing mean? That's a verb. To carry into action deliberately. Obligate. To bind. To entrust. Legal words, right? To consign. Record for preservation. To put into a place for disposal or safekeeping. To refer something, such as a legislative bill, to a committee for consideration and report. We pledge, right? We pledge ourselves to the flag whenever we salute it, right? I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. I think now that you understand what the word commitment means, I don't want you to be scared of the word commitment, but I do want you to realize and not take it lightly when you commit. So people always ask you this question, and it's a good question. John, what is the difference between commitment and promise? Ooh. So a little different. So a promise is a declaration that something will or will not be done. Given by one, an express assurance on which expectation is to be based. Stop making promises, turn them into a commitment. A promise is a slated intention to do something specific in the future. A commitment is stated facts. A promise is an agreement to someone else's choice, whereas a commitment is our choice. Does that make sense? So when we promise something, a lot of times we do that because someone else needs assurance. When we commit to something, it's because of our own accord. Does that make sense? If you do a promise for someone, it should be because of your own commitment. If you're doing a promise and it's not something you're really committed to, that's not going to end well for both parties. And you're probably going to do it with a sour taste in your mouth. So let's understand the difference. Promise is something you do, okay? Declaring to someone that something will be done now or in the future. When you commit, okay, it's a little different. It happens because of a different choice. Okay. A promise is an arrangement because of someone else's choice. A commitment becomes because of our own choice. I commit to lose weight. I commit to learn. I commit to be kinder. I commit to, let's say, learn something new every week. That is a commitment. I'm just giving you examples of commitment. And as I said, these principles are not complicated, but they require commitment. Those aren't promises. They're things we should be doing for our own choice, not someone else's. And I know that sounds like something that is hard. I told you guys this stuff is not easy. It's not always comfortable. I'm just being honest. And if we can know that, then we can move forward a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways. Okay? And that hopefully will make a difference in what you're doing and why you're doing something. If I asked you a question right now about what's happening, and it happens because of a promise, it'll be different than a commitment. But a commitment will mean more to you. So, discipline, ladies and gentlemen, is what turns these ideas into daily habits. Ownership is what keeps you accountable. When motivation fades, growth is what happens when you choose to show up anyway. If you apply even a few of these tips I've given you consistently, your life will slowly begin to change. Not overnight, but steadily, meaningfully, and guess what, guys? Permanently. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing I want to share with you right now is this is your moment to stop waiting and start building. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. Let me say that again. Your future is created by what you choose to do today, not tomorrow. Make a commitment to yourself. Step into ownership, right? Commit to the growth and develop the discipline to follow through. A lot of people I know don't want to follow through. They're scared. They don't want to commit. So they just kind of make excuses as to what they'd like to do. But then they just keep saying, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow, 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 tomorrow. And you know what? Tomorrow for them never comes. Because before tomorrow comes, they just say, oh, we'll do it the next day. And as that day comes, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. And we just keep changing. And we're actually procrastinating. We're hurting ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley. And this is your invitation to rise, improve, and build a life that truly matters. This has been Inspirations for Your Life with a very special topic today where we're talking about understanding. Yes, understanding a very unique thing in our life. What was that unique thing? Sure. We're understanding growth, learning, and skill building. And when we know that, it's just a part of the puzzle. Have yourself a great rest of your day or evening. Remember, discipline matters, growth mindset, and own your life today. Be well, everyone. Check out believemeachieve.com.